It is a new year and a new decade, and it's time to grow your YouTube channel. So in this video, we're going to be sharing 10 tips for getting more views on YouTube this year. We're going to be highlighting and answering some of the top questions from the video influencers community, doing some live Q&A as well. So go ahead and grab a drink, get like a journal or something to write with, because we're more excited than Baby Yoda in this video to help you with some YouTube tips. I can't believe I just did that, but I'm super fired up. I hope you're fired up. And so let's get ready, and we're going to get into this video right now. This video is brought to you by vidIQ, the #1 Chrome extension for YouTubers looking for on-point data analysis, research resources, and enhanced video creator tools. Start getting more views in less time today by signing up for free at vidiq.com/influence. That's vidiq.com/influence.
What's up, influencers? Oh, sorry. What's up? Are you guys here to get more views? We're at the right place. This is Video Influencers, where we're helping build your influence, income, impact with online videos. And the way we do that is help you get views on your videos. So if you're new here, consider subscribing, hit that like button, and comment below. What is your channel all about? We love to know what you guys do here on this platform, and we're excited to help you guys get more views, not just now, but in 2020 and beyond. We've got 10 different tips on how to do that. These are viewer questions that you guys submitted. Continue giving us your questions, because we really want to know what is it that we can answer for you guys during this broadcast to help you this year. Sean, I'm excited.
I'm excited too. And we are going to be taking some of your questions live, but we asked you on the community tab. So make sure if you're new to Video Influencers that you're subscribed and you have notifications on. And we wanted to answer and highlight some of the most upvoted questions. So Ricky asks, how do you actually get over the fear of uploading your first videos knowing that they'll suck? And so actually tell us in the comments, have you already uploaded your first video? How many videos have you uploaded, or have you not uploaded one first? And so Benji, what are your tips for overcoming that fear of uploading your first video?
Well, I'd say #1, remember that all successful creators started at zero, just like you, just like us. And in fact, I wish we had those videos. You guys can actually go to any one of our channels, go to the first upload function and see how bad those were. And it's not just us. My wife, Judy, who started in 2008, she's got 1 billion video views now, but her first videos, almost no good lighting. It was the darkest room. It was like a cave. The background was just our bed and our bedroom. Her tripod was just a bunch of shoe boxes. And she was using the worst computer to edit. And those are her first videos. And they were good enough in the beginning, but definitely nowhere near her skill level or quality that she has. So that's my #1 thing. It's not even what to do. It's just to realize, get yourself in the right mindset and forgiveness, that if you're a beginner, you have to start somewhere. So realizing that the most successful, most famous, most high-performing channels on this platform, they also started in that place, will help you give yourself enough forgiveness so that you don't worry so much about mistakes or getting embarrassed, all that good stuff. But Sean, I mean, what are your thoughts? Because I know that you and I both help a lot of beginners here on Video Influencers.
Yeah, the truth is everybody sucks at the start. And so you kind of just have to press record and punch fear in the face and post your first video. And for getting views in 2020, if you are just starting, here's how it's going to happen. It's going to be on the other side of massive action. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or you're just starting, we got to take massive action in 2020. We cannot let discouragement, fear, comparison, worry, dwelling, any of those things hold us back. We have to push those to the side and say, the reason I'm going to grow is because I post videos. The reason I'm going to grow is because I put in the work. The reason I'm going to grow is because I punch fear in the face and I press record. So you really just got to get started, post your first videos. Your first videos will be your worst videos, but that's how you get to your good ones.
Absolutely. And, I mentioned this in the last broadcast. It's just like any sport, any skill, any career, business. As you practice, you get better. And so wherever you start is not where you have to end. And realize the more uploads you put up there, the more time you spend looking at yourself. And yes, you're going to have to look at yourself and critique your actions and your kind of like your performance on camera and get better and improve. You're going to get over that fear as you do this, because I'll tell you, like, I'm a black belt, 2nd degree black belt in Taekwondo, and I am an instructor, so I teach other people. But if I started teaching when I was a white belt, I wouldn't have the same amount of confidence that I do now. And it's because of literally years upon years, a whole decade of experience. So the quicker you get to practicing, in your case, uploading over and over and over, the sooner you will get over that fear of uploading and realize you don't have to upload on your main channel. You can maybe upload somewhere else on Facebook, share it with family and friends. So I know we hit this topic a lot, and we want to get into point number 2, but that's what I'd say. Hit that like button if you guys are loving the value you're already getting so far. If you're excited, if you want your questions answered, put it in the comments. And by the way, we might be bringing in some special guests. So stay tuned throughout this 10 tips broadcast. Sean, do you want to hit up number 2 right now?
Charlie asks, how do you grow and make your channel more productive? Thanks so much for the question, Charlie. And I think that one of the best ways to grow is understanding how YouTube actually works. One of our favorite things is creating search-based content. And so if we actually look at my screen here, if you want to see how I grew, a channel like Think Media, or even how Benji grew a channel like his cooking channel. In our past video, we just looked at Japanese sweet potato. Seems very niche, right? A very niche topic. But when you type in that search term, you can see Benji's year-old video here ranked number 3 and still getting views. This is the power of YouTube. So how do you grow on YouTube and stand out? You want to be creating search-based content. And you can see over here, we're using a tool called vidIQ, and we've got details all about that in the description. But these are the tags, these are the keyword phrases that this video ranks for. Over the years, I've done like best camera for YouTube, and videos like this rank in search and continue to get views whether I'm working or not, whether I'm on the Christmas holidays with family or snowboarding in Stevens Pass up in the Seattle area. These videos get views 24/7. It's very powerful. And you could do this in any niche. You could be like best greens powder, which how niche is that? It's like a little green juice, Benji, that I mix with water. And 3 years ago, I just reviewed a little product that my friend Lewis Howes told me about, and this video keeps getting views. So you want to understand how YouTube works and create search-based content, but more than that, you also want to create what is the #1 traffic source on YouTube, and that is suggested videos. So even though search is such a thing that we love, we also love what we call trend surfing. Ask yourself, what trends are in my niche right now? What trends are related to my topic? Or what trends are happening in culture that I could connect with? So let's look at one. If we go to the YouTube search bar, let's look up the Cybertruck, the Tesla Cybertruck. We're just going to type in the Cybertruck and tell us in the comments, are you getting a Cybertruck? Do you love how it looks? Do you hate how it looks? Tell us in the comments. And so when the Cybertruck came out, it was this major trend. It's a branding, for better or worse, it stood out. It's a marketing masterpiece. And you can see what people did was, of course, people jumped on it and they talked about their thoughts on it. The Verge jumped on it. But then there's people that I saw in the branding and marketing space that talked about what you could learn from it from branding and marketing. I saw people making headlines like I bought a Cybertruck for just $100. Like you see Graham Stephan, I bought a Tesla Cybertruck for $100. What a powerful clickbait, but honest title, because he talks about real estate and finance. Truck owner reacts to it. And this video doesn't even look super well produced. I mean, just looking at the thumbnail, but nevertheless, it still got 3,000 views. It was also pretty disliked, but a month old on not a huge channel. What happened? This guy, Ben, jumped on this trend and started creating content around something and tied it into their channel. You could maybe do, if you had an art channel, you could draw a Cybertruck. If you had a money channel, you could talk about if it was a good investment or how you make it as a tax write-off because you buy one in your business. What people are doing here, you could say why it's good or bad, all the different angles, but it was a trending topic on the internet that people jumped on. And then if we look over on the right here using vidIQs, you see trending videos for this search term. So you can see what people are talking about and maybe tie that into your channel. What's the point? The point is that if you want to grow on YouTube, we recommend search-based content and then suggested videos through trend surfing. And we're not going to go super deep into that right now, but there's actually, I just finished a brand new web class at learnvideo.live. We'll link to that in the description below. That goes a little bit deeper into that because we have a lot of other questions to answer, but focus on those search-based content, suggested videos. I think you want to get more views on YouTube in 2020. Those are some big strategies. And you could check out that free 1-hour web class, link in the description.
Boom. And just to add a couple more takeaways or tips for you guys on how to be more productive. When I think about being more productive, by the way, Chris, thanks for the super chat. When I think about being more productive, it's getting more out of the same actions than you did before. And some simple things you can do is utilize the tools that YouTube makes available to you, like the end cards, right? And do a call to action to your other videos. A lot of people, they'll just end the video and they might put the end card video clickable links up there, but they won't do a call to action. Sean and I, at the end of all of our videos, we're suggesting the video that we believe makes the most sense to, again, continue that viewing session. And YouTube loves this, right? So you talk about being more productive. You just uploaded a video for people to view, but because of the way you ended it, people might be more likely to view another video, hence being more productive. Secondly, another thing to do is split your video into 3 or 4 or 5 different pieces. Some people, there's so much in the video. In fact, Sean, you were just talking about this. I'm going to do a studio tour of this new setup that we've got. And I was just thinking about doing one video, but Sean's like, no. In fact, you could split this into 4 different topics because they're so niche and they would have more powerful evergreen playback. Did you want to mention that real quick? Because again, like if you guys are so focused on one video, if you can split it to 3, you can actually get way more content out of almost the same amount of work.
Yeah, so you mentioned that for sure you were doing a studio tour regardless because the new Video Influencers tour here in Seattle or studio is incredible. We're here, we're streaming live right now, or maybe you're on the replay. And so Benji said, I was like, dude, you got to do a video about this. And he was already planning on that. But I said, here's how it could be broken down. It could be a YouTube studio focusing on just the camera, the microphones, and the lighting because that's the tech side. Then it also could be the live streaming side, how to live stream, and that's focused on vMix, on the computers, on how to operate it. And then there's also the decor side. And someday, influencers, you'll get to see this. There's, behind me here is like a cool couch area and some other cool things. There's the sound paneling. So how do you actually make the sound good and whatnot? So that's like a third video. And then the fourth video, because David Foster and Live Streaming Pros helped, could actually be maybe tips for live streaming and things like that. And so that could have just been one video, and it could also have been like an hour long, and that would have been all right. But by turning it into 4 videos, you have more chances of having by the way, maybe only one of the videos blows up, but all 4 link to each other. Yep. So now one of the video that breaks out links to the other videos. And then each one also can all be found in search. It's kind of like hooks in the ocean. If you view YouTube as this ocean, you could cast one hook in the ocean with one video, or you could put like 4 reels for anybody that fishes, those dudes that like have the little holders and they're like fishing line, exactly. Fishing line, fishing line.
Perfect.
They got 4 lines in the water. There's a more likely chance that they're going to catch more fish, if you will, therefore getting more views and growing your channel.
With almost the same amount of effort.
100%. And it's being more productive because David's coming over regardless. Mm-hmm. You're shooting the video regardless. It's going to take probably a few more minutes to create, but it's going to be 4x the impact, which won't even just be 4x. It'll be exponential. Yeah. And so, yes, thinking more productive is huge because to dominate in 2020 and get more views, you got to work harder or
Totally.
smarter and not just harder, because YouTube takes a lot of work. So you want to be more efficient.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing that strategy, because I really do believe a lot of you are putting out so much work. And I don't want you to just put out one piece of content. If you can do multiple pieces of content, because you're busy. Let's be real. People have families. They've got right now holiday parties to go to, a business to run, a job to work. Maybe you're still in school. So make the most of the time. Be efficient. And I'd say the last thing is it's all about preparing. The more preparation, the more productive you will be. Another, again, third, I mean, we could talk about this all day about how to be more productive. Batch producing. So this studio is a great example. We're not just going to bang out one piece of content. We're doing multiple. In fact, I don't know, let's be bold. I think after today, we'll probably be having 4 to 8 pieces of content come out of this one day of work. And we didn't just get here overnight. It took a long time, because back in the day, we used to shoot at Sean's mom's house, right?
That's right.
And we would still come out with like 4 or 5 videos and a food coma, because his mom's such an amazing cook. But now when we shoot, we're like doing 8 to 12 pieces of content on a crazy batch day. And even right now, going live with you guys. So if you guys are getting value, we would sure appreciate a thumbs up. Share this with somebody else that might want to ask questions. I'm serious. We're looking at your questions. We're going to be answering them. We're answering currently all the questions you've asked. And we're going to go ahead and move into the third question.
And Benji, let me show this just for a throwback, since
yeah.
you brought that up. You know, influencers, we're so grateful you've been a part of this journey. And we're coming up on our 5th year of video influencers. And so if you look at the screen here, back in 2015, we were shooting this video at my mom's house. I got the fish behind me, the hallway.
No, that's a hallway to the front door. So people are going.
And I had to tape up a jacket. So I went outside and I taped up a FUBU jacket to block the sunlight behind your head. We thought that these cameras down in front of us would be cool. I don't know why. We just like put out random lights and lenses on these glass tables.
I love that we left the water glasses, right? Like we made such a point to spruce it up. But
there's a water glass right in my crotch, and there's my mom.
Oh, there you go.
Because, you know. And what's funny is, again, I just think about the journey, because now we are sitting here, Benji, in like this studio. But it's 5 years later, man. We've been putting in the work. We've been hustling and grinding. And so we hope that inspires that, like, maybe you're starting from scratch, but whether you got to shoot in a hallway at your mom's house or a basement at your Uncle Larry's house, you got to just press record and get started. I love that
you showed your mom in that clip. I didn't even realize that even got in there. The reason I love that is, I love your mom. She was so supportive. I mean, again, she was cooking us food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I felt like I could have survived based off those meals for a whole week. But I would say this, it'd be fair to say that it's a great example. Like, she might not have ever understood the significance of what we were starting. She was like, oh, I'll just walk in the background and get my jacket. Like, it's no big deal. It really wasn't, because we were just grateful for the space, because it was amazing lighting there. But how many of you out there are producing content around your family or friends, around people that aren't taking it seriously? And, you know, it might bug you. Now, it didn't bug me, because, again, like, the food was delicious and it was better than any other place. And, you know, I had some babies at home. So, you know, it was just super loud where I was at. And Sean at the time didn't live here. He still doesn't live here. So we didn't have any other options. But you might be going through this right now, where people are supportive, but they're not like 100% all in, right? They're walking behind your thing. They might be like listening to music or watching a movie, and it's affecting your audio. And we know what that struggle is like. I'm glad that you shared that. So let's go ahead and get into the third question from Alex Suber, and she asked, how to keep your channel video in a niche but also diverse. Sean, I really want to dig into this, because I know that niching down is important, but a lot of people struggle with some of the consequences of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you know, recently you had Jade on the channel, and that was such a good tip that she brought up, that actually, when you're just starting, being too niched down at the start can actually be limiting. It can be discouraging. And if you're in the experimental phase, you might want to just try a bunch of different styles of videos. But then eventually you want to narrow down and get more clear, kind of like you start wide, but you're getting clearer and clearer and more narrow over time. And eventually you maybe have clarity like Benji's channel that I'm going to be doing cooking videos, Benji Man TV. It's food videos. Like Think Media, it's like camera videos, lighting videos, tips videos. And I know I'm not covering gaming, and I know I'm not covering, taxes, and I know I'm not covering fitness or whatever. So when it comes to niching down, but not getting too niche down, I think what you want to define is two things. What is the broad topic you're a part of? And then how can you play inside of that topic? And here's actually a tip and a strategy that I've never really shared anywhere that I think you should define in 2020. What broad category are you in related to, let's say, book categories? Now follow me here. If we look at my screen, what I like to do is I like to go to Amazon, because if you think about books, they capture all of the knowledge and topics of like the known world, right? Of what people are interested in. So on the left side here, we could see the macro categories of books. I would challenge you, in fact, tell us in the comments, out of these bigger categories, your YouTube channel should probably fall into one, and that is your broad niche, right? Travel. Is it teen and young adult? Maybe it's just like millennial comedy, Zoomers, come on, let's go. Is it self-help? Is it a science fiction and fantasy channel? We've had people that have like Beyond the Blast Doors in our community. That is all Star Wars, or people that are covering Disney Plus. Is it a science or math channel? Is it a religion channel or spirituality about faith? If you look at these topics, is it business and marketing, arts and photography? So yeah, on the left side of the screen, you could see these. That's your big topic. But then let's check this out. If we click on business and money, Amazon takes us even deeper to more topics underneath that. So you should be a part of a broad topic, but then you might even want to niche down further. Maybe it's an accounting channel. Shoot, small business owners, they need tons of help with accounting, and there could be tips on taxes and balancing your books, and you could do an affiliate deal with QuickBooks and all kinds of stuff. Or maybe it's job hunting and careers. That makes me think of Cass in our community, who has a like helping people get a better job and create their resume. That's her whole niche, right? Maybe it's management and leadership. But what's crazy, maybe it's women in business. You can go even deeper then, and now you might, maybe that one ends there. You can also then do some research and see, I love actually looking at books, looking at the topics, looking at the titles, and thinking, how could I relate this to my channel? But maybe we go into marketing and sales, and sometimes underneath that could even be more things: advertising, customer service, public relations. So if you have broad topic business and money, but you decided that your YouTube channel is going to help people with marketing and sales, well, then you even have these topics: advertising, paid advertising you could do, Facebook advertising you could do, customer behavior, how do you get people to refer you, word of mouth, how do you improve customer service? And so ultimately what we're talking about here is, what is the big category? And tell us in the comments, like, what is the big topic your YouTube channel is about? But then think about the smaller topics you can play in to stay creative, to keep things interesting. And then we recommend you could even take a note from video influencers. If you've now defined that your business and marketing, you could bring on guest authors. You could bring on guest YouTubers. You could collab with other channels. You could do tours we could go to Seattle and tour local businesses and maybe just say, hey, could we highlight and get some of your tips? People want to share their answers. Think about then how you could be creative underneath a clear topic. I think that's really how you can break out.
Yeah, this is so important for you guys to realize how it's not just simply niching down to the most specific. It's also understanding where you're at. If you're a beginner, you definitely don't want to niche down too much, because maybe you're still figuring out what you're going to be all about. Maybe you're 16, 17, 18 years old watching this, and you don't even know what you're an expert at or what you're passionate about. So having a broad niche is really important. Now, even if you're an expert at something, you don't want to dive in so niche that you put yourself into a small box and you feel like you can't escape. And what Jade brought up when she was on this show a few Saturdays ago is people get burnt out because they feel like they have to do that thing forever. And a great example of this is Skip the Tutorial. Sean, I don't know if you can pull that up on your computer. When you do, let me know. But, the gaming scene is super competitive. Hit that like button if you guys are part of the gaming community. And let's go to Sean's screen now. Skip the Tutorial, he was a little burnt out, right? Like he was playing a specific game. But what he did was, and if you go to his videos, he, instead of niching down to a specific game, he niched down to a format. I don't even know if you call it a niching down, but he was able to create a format for his videos, and then he played any game he wanted. So he wasn't, at the mercy of the whims of that game, whether it's doing good or popular or not popular, or maybe it's losing interest from the community. So I love using him as an example because, and this is the thing, he was struggling to get to like 5,000 subscribers, and he actually, in 1 year, based off of one piece of advice from Sean Cannell, was able to grow to over 100,000 subscribers because he took himself out of a crazy small niche. He created a format so that he was able to, his niche was gaming, right? And his sub niche was playing games with handicaps or in weird ways, like he was just using his voice or just using his keyboard. And then that way he brought in his options. Really important to do, not just as a beginner, but even as somebody that's an expert, because that's the thing, YouTube changes. If there's more competition, you have to kind of adjust and you have to experiment. So it's just saying niche down is not telling the full story. And Sean, we've got a special guest coming up here, but before that, any last things you want to say on this topic?
Yeah, I think that, there's this tension between we say this quote, different is better than better. And if you want to get more views on YouTube in 2020, you got to find a way to be different. But what some people do, Benji, is they try to be too different. They go into a niche that's not popular. So Skip the Tutorial is such a great example because gaming is proven unpopular but crowded. So what he did was he went into a popular niche, one that has a guaranteed audience, one that there's a lot of interest in, but he did the same thing in a different way. And so if we actually look at the screen, you mentioned it, he was playing games in a different way. Can you beat Minecraft without the textures on? Can you beat Shovel Knight without using the shovel? Is it possible to beat Captain Toad? So he kind of figured out a format. Can I beat Punch-Out using just voice commands? And so he carved out, he did the same popular thing that has a proven audience, but in a different way. So I encourage those watching in the influencers community, whether you're here live or on the replay, think about how you can position yourself in a proven and popular and even profitable niche, like a topic that people are for sure interested in. Because the mistake people make, Benji, is they pick something so small sometimes and so obscure. They say, no one's doing it, so maybe I'll blow up. Well, if no one's doing it, there might not be anybody really interested in it. Competition is actually a good thing. Can you just spin it in a different way? That's a great way to stand out and break out in 2020.
Absolutely. And that's a perfect segue to our first guest. Again, if you guys are watching, we're going to bring in some special guests, but we've got Liron Segev from That Techie Guy. He is on here. We're going to test his audio, and I have a question for him right away. But Liron, what's going on?
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Glad to be here.
Oh,
Excited.
awesome. I am excited to have you. Just to give you guys a little bit of a snapshot on who Liron is. Number one, he is a friend of ours, crazy smart when it comes to YouTube. He also has his own YouTube channel, and he's crushing it, doing all kinds of things, had massive growth in the last year, but also he works with vidIQ, who's the sponsor of this. And the reason I bring that up is because Liron not only knows about YouTube through his own experiences, he audits other people's channels. In fact, this is the perfect topic. This wasn't planned to have you in, Liron, because we just talked about niching down. And I've heard from different conversations from you why you don't want to niche down too much. You definitely want to pick a topic, but there's different strategies in 2020 that will work. First off, let's just have you say hi to the audience, introduce yourself real quick, and then jump into piggybacking on that last topic.
Yeah, great. Look, I must confess, I have been stalking in the in the comments. I've been chatting to a bunch of people and answering some questions. So it's awesome, obviously, to be here. You guys rock. We love what you guys do and the value that you bring. Not one session, but 2 sessions back to back. That caffeine must be amazing. Please send some my way. Yeah, so I love the topic about niching down. It's always kind of confusing. How much is too niche? Can you be too niche? Should you be niche at all? And the way I kind of look at niching is basically very simple. If you're watching a video, you've cuddled with your loved one on the couch, you're watching something on Netflix, it starts to play, and as you get into the movie, it breaks for sports. You're going, what's going on? I didn't sign up for this. And then it goes back to your video, and then you're watching some more, and then it cuts to the news. That's going to irritate the living heck out of you because you're not there for that. You're there for one thing, and you're getting flooded with a whole bunch of random stuff. So niching is about that. People love you. They love your channel. They come for getting certain types of content. They're okay with receiving content that's similar within the same environment, but they're not okay with something completely out of left field. They'll give you an opportunity once, maybe twice, but if you keep confusing us, well, it's like that Netflix. Change the channel. Simple as that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And thank you for, sharing what niching down means and the importance of it. Like Leron mentioned, what you're trying to do is provide the viewers with what they think and expect to get, especially if they become a subscriber. And this is so important. It's kind of like the relationship. It's like if Sean and I first met, and I told him I was interested in YouTube, and really I have a YouTube channel, I'm making YouTube videos, and we start a friendship, and we're like, hey, let's make some YouTube videos. And literally the next week, I'm like, no. F YouTube, I am all in on Twitter video, right? He's like, no, that's not what I actually signed up for. We might still be friends. He might be interested, but he's not going to necessarily be as interested because, again, the idea of us working together was for YouTube videos. Now, that's maybe a horrible example, but it's an example of why, this is important. Anything you want to add to this? Because obviously, I don't think you've ever had Leron on. We've never had this happen before.
Yeah, Leron, the way he said it is awesome. And I think you kind of put it like this. You can write this down. Never upload a video that your subscribers didn't subscribe for. Now, that's the rule. It's okay to break the rules sometimes, but you should always be thinking about the rules. Because the problem is if you never upload a video that your subscribers didn't subscribe for, and Leron, I'd love your take on this, then you're never really experimenting or testing or trying things. But just as you said, if you sit down with Netflix and chill, and you get close to your loved one, and you want to watch the NBA Finals, and then all of a sudden it's ice skating, you're like, this is not right. This is not what I'm here for. But if you got a sports channel, maybe you experiment with a different variety of content, a different style of content, but never upload a video that your subscribers didn't subscribe for. And we had Matt Gielen on recently. You did that 3-part series with him, and a lot of good questions have come in about how many videos should I upload a week? When's the best time to upload? And that's all covered in that series with Matt Gielen. So we'll make sure to put that in the show notes. But Matt was talking about more than ever before in 2020 and beyond, you do want your channel to be a single value proposition channel. It's not that variety channels can't make it, but people need to know what is it they're subscribing for. And then you want them to be able to continually come back and receive that promise from you. If they wanted something else, if they wanted a gardening video, they're going to subscribe to a gardening channel. But then if they want coffee videos, they'll subscribe to a coffee channel. And if they want gaming tutorials or entertaining gaming videos, they're going to subscribe to that. So more than ever before, you kind of want to get, and it can feel limiting, but it's also a key, I believe, to breaking out.
Boom. Leron, anything you want to add? I want to have you on for one more question next, but what's your final thoughts on this topic?
Yeah, this niching down thing, it blows my mind when people say, I don't want to be niched down. Don't want to be pigeonholed. Essentially, what you're telling us is that you don't want to be known as the best in the world for doing whatever it may be, right? That is crazy talk. You want to be the best in the world for being the best coffee channel, great Charlie, to be the best gaming channel, to be the best Fortnite channel. You want to be known as the best in the world. Be niche. Be the expert. Look, I'm a horrible mechanic. I don't know anything about my car, but I know the guy to call. He's top of mind. I'm a horrible accountant, but I've got a good accountant. He's top of mind. If my mechanic was also my accountant, which was also my GP, which is also my attorney, that's weird. I'm never going to think of that person. I want to be niche. I want to be the best. I'm rocking my tech channel and I'm doubling down and doubling down and doubling down on Wi-Fi because that's what people want from me. So I'm going to give them exactly what they want. You want to niche. You can always steer away, and it's okay to get weird. Every once in a while, throw something in there that people maybe is a little bit different, and then watch. If people are loving it, you can experiment.
And we all know people just like that aren't expert at one thing. They sell a little juice on the side for an MLM. They got their own profession. They also have a couple of side businesses. They also sell insurance. Oh, and guess what? They could list your house if you need. But quickly before we get into the fourth topic, and I'll hand it over to you, Sean, to get going. But I want to say thank you to Chris Titus Tech for the super chat. Also Fly T Path, and then Fret to Fret. Fret says, you guys are such an inspiration. Thank you. Well, thank you for watching us. And lastly, a shout out to our member. You can actually hit that join button and join our memberships. We've got exclusives. I go live once a month. We got all kinds of icons that Gabe has made for you guys. Nylev Iram. So thank you guys for watching. Sean, let's get into the next question.
Yeah, the next question, and Leon will be good on this too with all the data that he gets to see. But Faith for Fitness asks, the biggest question for me is, why do channels that have 1 million subscribers only get 8,000 views a video? How can we encourage our subscribers to view our videos? And so there's a couple things to consider here. I think one thing is that even when you look at some of the biggest channels, like you look at PewDiePie, the #1 most subscribed to independent YouTuber on the platform, he's got over 100 million subscribers now. But he is only getting about 6% or as low as 3% viewership when he puts an upload on there. So he doesn't get 100 million views. He gets around 3 million. So, and he's the biggest YouTuber. So you kind of see this example that if you have 100,000 subscribers and you get 30,000 views, you're doing really good. And if you've got 10,000 subscribers and you get was 3%, 300, it'd be 3,000 subscribers, 3,000 views. Then if you get like 3%, then you're doing pretty good. There's a couple other things to consider too. It's who is the, what is the promise of the channel? Is it a person channel? Are you subscribing to a person? And PewDiePie is, I would say, more of a person. He doesn't actually really have as much of a promise. He sometimes plays games. He sometimes does the news. He sometimes reviews memes. He does Last Week I Asked You. But he himself is funny. He himself has created his community. He himself, you watch to be entertained by him. Benji and Judy's vlog channel is similar. Your community connects with you. It's not, some days you guys go to Disneyland, some days you guys go, so you're the value proposition. That actually is the niche. It's an entertainment factor. On an interest-based channel, and Leron could probably relate to this, I relate to this, even here on Video Influencers, even more so on Think Media, I cover, in fact, if we bring this up, if you look at Think Media, topics are kind of all over the place. So I just did an M50 tutorial on the best autofocus settings for the M50. Here's the problem. If people don't own an M50, they don't want to watch that video. There's no way, right? I just did the best accessories for G7X. If they don't have that camera, they don't want to watch that video. Now, best lighting setup with how to set up general lighting, that might be a little more broad. And so the problem on a more niched, interest-based channel is that you are going to get a lot of subscribers, but they may be subscribed because you talked about Sony cameras. But now when you're talking about some Canon stuff, what they're doing is they're skipping over those episodes. This actually is something I'm considering heavily. I mean, I have to deal with the fact I'm coming up on 1 million subscribers, and sometimes I'll get 3,000 views or 10,000 views, but I'll also have breakout videos that get 100,000 and 250,000, which are getting a little bit closer to some of those numbers. Different types of channels. It's interest-based or topical-based channel, and so you need to consider all those things. The one other thing to consider is age. That if it took you 10 years to get to 1 million, how active are all of those subscribers, as opposed to you got to 1 million in like 1 year and a lot of people are still watching. And these are lessons I've learned. Look, one of the reasons why we do this channel, Video Influencers, is not because we've done everything right. It's because we've made a lot of mistakes. And so we can help you go further faster so you don't have to wander in the desert for 7 years trying to figure it out. And maybe potentially think, okay, I want to be that clear value proposition. Here's who I think the best is, Phil DeFranco. And so if we look at this on my screen, Phil DeFranco has a 4-day-a-week news show, and it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And every single day, it's the exact same promise. It's where I watch a lot of my YouTube news. And so I just know what I'm going to get every day. The show is the same every day with new information. The format's consistent. The value proposition's consistent. The segments are consistent. And it actually, because it's news and it's current, it actually gives me a reason to come back and watch every day. So Phil, though, he's at 7 million subscribers.
It's like 15%.
Like 15%.
Yeah.
And personality and very good branding. I mean, he's one of the best. And so you want to study some of those things, but you also don't want to beat yourself up. If you review products and you cover a lot of different products, maybe people love vacuums, but they don't care about the juicers. So they're just not going to click on the juicer video. It depends on how much variety there is.
I think another point I want to make, piggyback on what you just mentioned, Sean, is, as channels get older and the audience is aging out or they're changing, the YouTuber or the creator, they don't want to change. They don't want to keep up with the times, right? So you hear a lot of these epic YouTubers or the OGs sometimes complain about the algorithm or YouTube or, they're against them. I can tell you this, YouTube needs this creator community. They don't want to hurt your channel. You're probably the one hurting your channel. Now, that's really hard to listen to and kind of not be in denial of, because the reality, and by the way, we're going to hand it off to Liron to kind of like finish off answering this question, because a lot of people, they don't even know that they're doing it wrong now. Like they did it right 10 years ago, but it's a much different platform. The algorithm's completely changed up, and even your audience. One thing, my wife and I on our vlog channel, It's Judy's Life, and in fact, Sean is actually going to pull up It's Judy's Life. When that started, that was really a behind the scenes channel. And you guys can actually see it right now here on Sean's screen. That was a behind the scenes channel of her beauty life, or her beauty channel, It's Judy Time. But now, as we've gotten married and we had kids, we changed based on, number one, our passion, but two, our audience. Yeah, so these are some of the older videos. Like, again, just like fun behind the scenes. I was the one that told her to start the channel. I said, hey, you should put all the funny stuff that really
Benji
doesn't have...
turns 26.
Oh my gosh. But you can see like it was a completely different format. Now, Sean, let's go to the latest videos, right? And show how it's evolved and changed. So we're not even talking from a strategy or data standpoint. We're just talking about from a content standpoint. And this is my wife. Again, like now we have kids in the mix, and it's more casual, but it's casual from the sense of we're documenting our life as parents raising our children versus the beauty stuff. So we've adjusted based on what we're interested in, but I think just as important, we adjusted based on where our audience is. And this is why our vlog channel has had so much longevity. And this is, why I think this is so important to answer, because a lot of you are looking and worried about these other YouTubers, why they're not getting very many views. But I'm sure a lot of you are also watching, wondering why you're not getting views. So Liron, I'll hand it off to you to answer this last question before we let you go, because I know you're busy, got your family. But what are your thoughts when it comes to this question? By the way, shout out to everybody watching. We had this huge jump in people chiming in. So hit that like button if you're getting value. Liron, drop some wisdom on us.
Look, you guys covered it pretty well. I want to cover the second part of that question, which was why. I think that the question was why I'm not getting more subscribers, or I'm getting some views but not the subscribers. And it's exactly that. Is people are there for different reasons, and exactly what Sean mentioned is that you might be there for the M50, but if you've got a Sony, well, then you're maybe not going to watch that series. It's just not your thing. Doesn't mean you don't like the channel anymore. What I do see a lot of people make, and by the way, when I speak to creators who have 100 subscribers or million of subscribers and everybody in between, people make the same mistake. We do not ask our audience to subscribe. Well, I know you do at the very end, but I know you guys covered this a little bit earlier about audience retention. When you look at your graph, when you look at your videos, are your people staying till 100% of your video? Odds are not. Most people normally drop off way before 100%. So what's happening is when you're saying to someone, hey, if you like this content, hit the subscribe button, well, you're speaking to a very, very small community. So your subscribers don't grow. The way to do it is the show formula. You have a hook at the beginning, you offer value immediately, you tell them what to expect, You say, hey, this is the kind of stuff that I do. Hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up like you guys are about to do for this live stream right now. Hit the thumbs up, and then you get into your content. Because now you have two stabs at the pie. You're telling people to subscribe up front, but also subscribe at the very end. And now you have a better call to action. Remember, if you treat everyone on YouTube, like I always say, as a 5-year-old kid. You give them one shiny object. You tell them what to do. If you give a kid 2 shiny objects, they get very confused. Give them that shiny object. Tell them what you want to do. Don't assume that just because it's YouTube, they know how to subscribe. They know how to thumbs up. They know how to leave a comment. So many new people are discovering YouTube because they've now got internet access in their country. And you want to be the one helping them along on that journey. You don't ask, you don't get. Ask up front, offer value, repeat it at the very end. Your subscribers will go up if you just do that.
Can you guys still hear me? I really appreciate you being on here on Video Influencers. By the way, this was literally last minute. He was in the comments area, so this is why you got to watch. And you never know when you could be pulled into the live broadcast. But the reason I love Liron and the team he's from on vidIQ is because these guys, they have channels. They're uploading videos. So they're not just talking as people representing vidIQ. They're talking from experience. And you just heard 2 amazing sessions of answers from Liron. The Techie Guy. We'll put the link down below, or just type in The Techie Guy. Liron, what are your last thoughts before we say goodbye to you? Because you are such an epic person from the standpoint of obviously a creator, but also somebody that's looked at a lot of channels, seeing what they're doing well, what they're great at, but also all the mistakes, the ones that are really hurting their channels. Any last thoughts you want to leave with our audience?
Yeah, I always like to end with this. It's the famous African, because being from South Africa, I've got to throw that in the mix here. The famous African saying is, when is the best time to plant a tree? Was 20 years ago. When is the second best time to plant a tree? It's today. Plant your tree. Don't be having this conversation in 2021 thinking, oh, I should have, I could have, let me download another book, let me watch another streaming session. Hit that record button. As Sean says, punch fear in the face. Do it. The more you do it, the better you're going to get, just like any other skill. And the best way to practice it on Instagram. Make a little video on Instagram. Nobody's following you anyway. Go to Snapchat if that's still a thing. Good. Make videos there. They die after 24 hours anyways. That's the best way to get comfortable. But you will suck at the beginning. It's just going to happen. Press that record button, upload, and get a little bit better with every bit. A little bit better with every bit. Teach yourself editing, Photoshop, thumbnails. Those are the good soft skills that you need, because together they make a powerful package. And then just a quick shout out to Benji and Sean. You guys rock. I really love what you guys do to the community, and the way, if I'm watching these comments coming flying in, really making a big impact. I think we should all start 2020 on a very, very big thumbs up. So smash that thumbs up, and I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Dude, we love you, bro. Thank you so much for coming on. And we're excited because if we're about halfway through these tips. We're bringing you 10 tips for getting more views on YouTube. This video is certainly packed with more than those. We're going to be doing some live Q&A at the end, and we have a few questions that we got ahead of time from the community tab. But I did see one coming in from Ram Real Estate Investing about when is the best time of day to post. And so if you look on my screen here, I actually am using the vidIQ tool, and the best time to post is one of my favorite features. Is they actually have a best time to post feature. And if you look at this, I'm logged into Video Influencers. Now, a lot of people don't know that vidIQ actually has a web-based app, an app where you can actually study your competitors. Like, we actually will look at like our friends and see, what kind of views they're getting or whatever. And we can look at all those types of things. They've got the keyword research tool. But underneath the analytics tab, you're able to look at this best time to post. And so we're actually recording this on a Thursday, the day after Christmas. But really, we can see for us right now that ramping up Friday and the weekends as well as Monday is when our subscribers are online. Here's the thing. What matters most in 2020 when it comes to ranking your videos and whether or not a video is going to break out, one of the factors is view velocity. How quickly can your video get views? So if you upload your video at the wrong time and there's just not a lot of your subscribers on, then it's not going to have as fast of a velocity. Whereas if we go back to that really quick, neutrally, and we look at like Monday, we see the peak would be 7 a.m. this coming Monday. So I'll tell you what, we've got some videos that are in the hopper. That's when I would be scheduling. I'll do a schedule upload. I'm going to schedule upload the video for 4 a.m., a couple hours before the peak, to ride that wave. Let's look at it one more time neutrally. It's like a wave. It's like surfing it. You want to ride the lower left and ride the highest wave there, and then capture the most amount of attention for the view velocity of that video. It'll give it the best chance to continue to succeed. And so, you know, if you don't have this tool, then of course you could just do, you know, whatever. Think about the strategy. When are your people online? Are they about to go to work? Ram Real Estate Investing mentioned entertainment on the weekends or educational during the week. Maybe, but I think you really need to get to know your audience. But if you want to have like more data-driven decisions, you can always check that out. And that's a part of vidIQ, who's sponsoring this stream. So we're super grateful for them. But always check them out, vidiq.com/influence. A link in the description below to that and many other tools that we'll be showing you when it comes to vidIQ for how you can grow your channel faster in 2020.
Boom. So again, if you guys are getting value out of this, hit that like button, comment below with your questions. We're trying to answer as many as possible today. But we've got our next one coming up from Venkatesh. And the question is, I'm getting demotivated and losing my patience quickly. What should I do? Now, there's a really simple answer to this, but I'm going to share a story. When we wrote, this is not a plug for the book. I just want to tell the story. When we wanted to write this book, YouTube Secrets. Number one, it wasn't even called YouTube Secrets. It was Video Influencers after this channel. Sean flew in from Las Vegas to Seattle. He listened to a podcast. It can be dangerous because you get ideas. And he's like, Benji, we should write a book together. And I don't know. I always wonder, like, did he invite me to write the book together, or did I suggest I write it with him? But we're like, you know, we can do this because there's not a book like this out there, and we're going to do it. It's going to take 6 months. We planned it all out. We're going to time block, prioritize. And then what happened? It took us 4 years. So when I tell you this, have patience, it comes from a place of experience. Almost everything great in life usually takes longer because initially you get excited because you're just thinking about the goal, not thinking about the journey, not thinking about the challenges and the roadblocks and life itself. I mean, so both Sean and I had all kinds of experiences. I think during that time, I might have had more babies. You know, Sean and his wife went through some health complications. In fact, along the way, Sean lost his job, right? I mean, like, so there's all kinds of things. And so I'm sharing this with you, not to be harsh by any means, but to share with you how we can relate to this. But also, let's get into some practical tips here too. Sean, anything you want to share with Venkatesh when it comes to staying motivated?
Yeah, I think one thing for sure, Benji, is tired eyes rarely see a bright future. So you got to pace yourself. You want to commit to that napkin plan, and we just uploaded that video with those 5 tips before this, so definitely check that one out here on the channel. And you want to be posting a video a week, but you got to make sure to rest. You also want to be sure to be realistic. You know, when you study out anybody's kind of investing, and maybe I can even look this up. You study anybody who built anything. It's always so, it almost doesn't register at the beginning, but it grows in value over time. And so like when you look at Warren Buffett's wealth, for example, or whatever, they say, you know, I don't even know if I'll be able to find this, but there's like a study of it where it grows over time, and how much interest he got on his efforts in the first few years was not much, but now he's worth like, here you go. So let's bring this guy up here and we'll go copy image address. So this is also very much like YouTube, right? Is like, if you look at how much those first parts of his life, which, by the way, what's crazy is at 19, is 10K, 21, 20K, but by 32, he was worth 1.4 million. But by 83, he's worth 58 billion.
We're not doing too bad, Sean. I think both you and I combined were like at maybe his 33, 34. So we got to hustle, though, if we want to get. But I love that you're showing this image because it shows the reality of the way the world works.
Exactly. And so when you're putting in the hustle on YouTube, like, again, you might be able to break out quick. And And some people have, but then other people, it might take, you want to commit basically. And actually, I believe I have this on this question. YouTube is like starting a small business, and actually mutually you might have the better image. And so when you study out small businesses, it says with the possible, how long does it take for a small business to be profitable, making money, growing, got momentum? It says this, it normally takes anywhere from 6 months to several years for a new business to be profitable. One of the reasons why it would be profitable faster is if you started a franchise. You open up a Subway, you open up something that is already proven. If you're starting from scratch, maybe you have no connections, no one's shouting you out, you've got to do it all by yourself, dude, it's going to be a freaking grind, man, for the first 6 months, 12 months, maybe 2 years. But what happens is, what about year 3? What about year 5? This thing will change your life forever when you break out on YouTube, but you got to be willing to put in the work and set your mindset. You want to have the grit, the resilience, the focus, the determination. And here's the thing too, you can't just post a video, wait 3 months and think that was putting in the time. No, putting in the time in a small business, look, if you open up a brick and mortar restaurant, you're there every day. A friend of mine from my mom's church in Linwood, Washington, just opened Santo Coffee in Seattle. And I was like, dude, that's pretty bold to be opening up like a coffee shop.
It's not competitive, is it?
I know. Yeah, you think about how much coffee. And so actually, I will show this. I'll put it up on screen. He's just opened, like, bringing that pour over. Benji, we got to go there because they're bringing that, like, unique. But I mean, this is no joke. And here's what he has to do. I said, how much you working there? You just in there like, 1 hour a week? He's like, no, man. Like sun up to sundown,
double time, 7
days a week, because I'm opening up, and I gotta break out. I gotta, and so when you think about this, is opening up a coffee shop is like starting a YouTube channel, 24/7, 365, with the goal of this coffee shop being profitable, building a brand for itself, standing out, in a couple years. That's the kind of commitment that you want to have when it comes to your YouTube channel. And so even if you're starting from scratch in 2020, like, put your hand to the plow and commit to the long game. Hopefully with some of these hacks, some of these strategies, you get a breakout moment, the right trend at the right time with the right video you upload. But the reason that happens for people is because they are consistent. They are posting regularly. They're learning the best strategies. They're leveling up, and then they're putting their mind to it. The last thing I'll say, Benji, too, is that Think Media, it started in 2010, and we're going to hit 1 million subscribers in 2020. Now, to be fair, I was about 5 years where I wasn't consistent. So different people, by the way, you might have school. You might be in a season where you got some newborns. Fine, still upload when you can, and your journey might take 7 years. It might take 9. It might take 9 weeks, but you got to commit no matter what and realize that great things take time and put in the hustle just as a small business owner would, investing their time, their energy, their resources, education, equipment, the gear. He's buying equipment that he's not going to profit from for years to come. He's investing in it up front because those coffee makers are expensive. He didn't make that money back in the first week.
And by the way, it probably, when he started this coffee place, he probably didn't start making coffee the day he opened. He probably literally had a decade or so, maybe lifetime, making coffee. So this is why in the last broadcast we talked about, like, understand where you're at. And you have to have forgiveness for yourself. If you've never uploaded a YouTube video, how can you expect to crush it in your first few videos? When people tell me, oh, I'm not having success, and I go to their channel and it's less than 10 videos, it was like, well, shoot, bro, you gotta pay your dues, right? And unless you're somebody that, so I don't know if Peter McKinnon, I don't really follow him, but I know he's blown up in the last like 5 or so years. But Peter McKinnon, Sean, tell me this. He probably had a history of producing content before he blew up on YouTube. Would that be correct?
He had a history of being a musician, working on his skills, his talent on camera, his storytelling. He was already great at shooting B-roll, already great at shooting. And so it was like a combination of all of his skills coming together when he came on YouTube.
Exactly.
And so, and not everyone is starting at that point, but it doesn't matter where you're starting, just start. And start working at it and chipping away. And don't compare yourself. See, comparison's the thief of joy. And so that's actually what can kill a lot of our motivation, is we're so worried about what everybody else is doing instead of just putting the blinders on and just working our land, getting up and working our YouTube channel, our content, posting our videos, and having a commitment. I would say this, it's a commitment to show up no matter what and post that video no matter what. You're not going to get the guns in the gym. I haven't, because I don't go to the gym. You do. And you're doing the cleans. And because you've shown up consistently, the results show in your physique. You can't just dream about going to the gym or think about it or go 2 times and say, yeah, I'm kind of like, I lift. And not really, bro. Do you lift, bro? You not really. You got to just say every single week, I'm going to show up 1 or 2 days. That's how you have to treat YouTube in 2020.
Yep.
No matter what, the video is going up, and I'm going to do that for as long as it takes.
And by the way, just on that note of you don't have guns, well, you do have abs. I know it sounds weird that I'm talking about Sean's abs, but the reason, there's a point to why I'm sharing this. So I do work out, I lift, I do deadlifts. I just did some kettlebell swings, so I'm feeling pretty strong today. But I don't got the abs. I love ice cream. I love to eat a lot of food. Sean, on the other hand, he loves to eat food, but he eats like a rabbit during the day. He's like doing 3 or 4 espressos. He runs a lot, so he has more abs than I do. So the reason I tell you that story, and Sean's like, where is he going with this, is because don't focus so much on what you're not that good at. Focus on what you do great at, right? Like, where are you skilled, and enhance that. As Gary Vaynerchuk would say, double down on your passion, on your skills, on your gifts. Forget all the other stuff. Now, I do believe there's a value to working on yourself, right? Improving different aspects. But again, it's just like understanding where you're from and having forgiveness on your growth and how well you're doing, is realizing you might just be comparing yourself to other channels and where they're at, or other creators and what they're good at, not realizing you've got these gifts, these talents, these skills. And if you double down on that, you could actually grow faster, and those other things wouldn't be as important, right? That you don't have guns because you got the abs, right? I kind of wish I had abs. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next question, because this is a long broadcast. If you guys are getting value, hit that like button. Go in the links. By the way, we talk about courses. We've got all of our show notes and links to everything down below. But Sean, are you ready with the next question?
Dude, I'm fired up, man. So pumped to see the influencers, Black Pearl, Purple Paisley, Just Frugal Me, Jessica Tang, the Feel Button. Thanks for being here. Hit the like button. And this next question, Carrie asks, how do I start? I need a reasonably priced camera, a laptop, and editing software. And so we have a couple tips. The first thing is actually, when it comes to starting, you can start with your phone. It's really all you need. In fact, we have a series over on Think Media about how to shoot, edit, do the thumbnail, and upload all from your smartphone. And so we'll link to that in the description below. And this is no excuses. Come on, in 2020, it's like you got a smartphone, and you can find a smartphone. It probably shoots HD video. Come on, you can get some cheap accessories like little plug-in microphones or little lights and things. It doesn't have to break the bank, and you can start creating content. But on the other side, the question's actually asking, what's a reasonably priced camera or laptop? So if you specifically want to invest in some gear, first of all, I would probably recommend, if possible, get a Mac. And so why? Because iMovie is easy to use, and Macs are user-friendly. And so if you buy an older MacBook or like an older, and there's actually, if you've ever seen the refurbished Mac website, these are usually newer. These aren't even old. These are going to be at least 2017. I'm talking like 2015 or 2016, and neutrally, let's throw this up. But on here, like if you were to, and now this is a lot of money, but if you want something that'll just kill it, like you could get an iMac refurbished for around $1,000. This thing would just murder video. Like, this is going to just shred through video. You got iMovie on there. And the next thing I'd recommend is you'd probably want to get a Canon M50. I think that if you're going to get a one all-around best YouTube camera, on the Canon website, you actually can grab one of these with a 1-year warranty refurbished for $470. So again, you might be saying, dude, what about all this money? Well, then use your smartphone. Like I just told you, like don't even buy anything, just use your smartphone and get started. But on the flip side, this is like a small business, man. To start a YouTube business, the fact you could do it for just maybe a few hundred or a few $1,000s to have professional quality, high output, edit, render, export, like fast. It's crazy how accessible it is to really get in this industry. You could go wait some tables, mow some grass, you know, drive some Uber, drive some Lyft, hit those bonus targets where you drive all weekend long and you get your Uber incentives. Go into the city, get that money, work those tips, do that thing.
Bro, one question. How crazy is the iPhone 11 when it comes to the camera?
Dude, it's absolutely insane.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
You know, and when we first started, everyone kind of had to have a camera. But I would say, and tell me what you think about this, that the iPhone 11 is the game changer, because now I even saw you using the forward-facing camera to do, I mean, like, and I saw your posts. It's ridiculous, especially with a portrait mode. If you put that on like a Me Photo, you know that the little tripod I have, the Me Photo tripod that holds your phone.
Yes.
And even have like a grip. You don't even need a grip. You got it all. And they've got microphones that go right into the lightning port. So it's nuts. And the low light is ridiculous. I mean, you have one right now. You want to show people what we're talking about?
Yeah. And I mean, this, especially because it's a content creation tool, you can promote your channel on Instagram.
Yeah.
You can do stories. You can do all the social media that you need to. You could do the editing right from your phone, the iMovie app.
You could do not just video, obviously, right? Forward facing, rear facing, but also pictures are crazy. I still think DSLRs always are gonna be light years ahead of that, because the lens, you just can't compare, but it's good enough. Like the computer processing on it. I mean, the portrait mode looks like you busted out a DSLR. What I used to do on a DSLR for my food pictures, now you can kind of do with your phone. So the reason we bring this up is because if you got a phone, especially an iPhone 11, but really any phone that does HD, there's no excuses. Use natural lighting as much as possible, unless you live here in Seattle, where we just went from sunny in the morning to like overcast. But if you can get some good natural lighting and be in an audio controlled environment or use a microphone, literally you can be off to the races with just your device that you have on you all the time.
Yeah, and to answer Carrie's question directly too, because maybe you don't want a Mac and maybe you don't want to use your phone. And the one downside I would say to phones, and the reason I love, like you guys vlog on G7X Mark IIs, which you can get for around $450 now, refurbished or used or wherever. I like having the separate SD card and editing on a laptop for the workflow speed of it, you know, to keep space on my phone opened up. And so I looked on, you know, B&H Photo or like Amazon. You could even look at Best Buy here in the US. For around $799, you know, maybe $600 to $1,000, you could get a PC laptop with specs great enough to edit HD video. You could get the Canon M50 or like a G7X. And then use software like Filmora is one that I would recommend. That's only going to cost you maybe $80 or something. There's some free ones. Hit Film Express, DaVinci Resolve has a free version out there. What I love about Filmora is it's user-friendly. Just like on Mac, I'd recommend iMovie to start. Filmora probably on PC because it's user-friendly. Here's the point. We'll link to that those videos in the description below to talk about the phone. Of course, Think Media covers other things. There are no excuses.
No.
Where there's a will, there's a way. And it's never about your resources. It's always about your resourcefulness.
Word.
Using what you have and then leveling up as you go.
Boom. Okay, you guys, we're loving the the questions that you guys are giving to us. We're going to get to some more Q&A later of you guys here in the chat area. We're going to go ahead and move on. I'm going to jump forward to Justin and Kristen. And they want to know, getting over the hump of growing your channel and being searchable. So basically they want to know, how do you get over that hump and being searchable? Now, we talk about this earlier, but niching down is the first thing, right? Having a specific topic that you're known for, like Leron mentioned, what is it that you want to be known for? Are you just going to be a variety channel where you're not going to be known, but you're leaning more on your personality, which, by the way, is very hard to do in the beginning, because there's so many people already doing that. You want to talk about the most competitive niche, Sean? It's the I'm the coolest person niche, right? Where they think I can do whatever I want. I can vlog. People are already going to be interested in what toothpaste I use, plus like where I drive, and me talking to my camera. You know what I'm talking about?
Completely.
By the way, I've never explained it like that, but that's really how it is. But you want to be known for something, and so when you're talking about growing your channel and being searchable is being niche, is being topical, being focused, not just in your channel, but in your video. Like, have a plan. Like, this video is gonna be searched by these people, and they're gonna type this in, and this is why this title and this thumbnail will grab their attention. Sean mentioned click-through rate, one of the analytics in your back end that you need to pay attention to. Well, that click-through rate is influenced by the thumbnail, the image that's advertising what's in the video, and that image is influenced by what's in the video. So if that video is like some of you in the grocery store buying food for a recipe you're going to make, but later you're going to be talking about your favorite car. I know this is starting to sound like a vlog, but I think that's what Sean and I definitely agree on. Vlogs don't work in the beginning because they're not niche, they're not topical, and they can't get searched. Real side tip here. If you want to be a vlog channel, you can still be niche. So maybe you're going to be a vlog channel around gardening. Maybe you don't want to make tutorial videos about gardening, teaching people. Maybe you just want to vlog your experience. In fact, I was literally watching video after video about compost. In fact, Sean, I didn't even care if they were good at teaching it. I just wanted to see how they do it. So if it was a 20-minute video, just random stuff, I'm into gardening so much, I was okay them like having less editing skills and just talking about it, literally showing them like pour old potatoes into a bin and how this guy's using barley used up from San Diego breweries on the thing.
And Benji, if we put this on screen, when you talk about niche, people are worried they're getting 7 views, 14 views, they can't get discovered. You get into a niche like compost, people probably wouldn't know this. How to make compost at home, 600,000 views.
Yeah.
How to make compost at home, 169,000, 656,000. See, tell us in the comments how much compost you make a day, because I guess that probably most people watching 2 million views.
You can make a compost channel just from what you showed us right now.
And so what this is showing is that, again, you got to get into specific topics that people are looking for. And when you just go broad and you try to be the coolest guy YouTube channel, right? Look, we have also, this speaks to 2020 opportunities, different languages.
Wow.
Different, not just English. We've got other channels performing, 250,000 views, 352,000 views.
Well, I have some composting videos I need to watch later.
Right?
But no, I love that you brought this up. Thank you for the visual, Sean, because I just talked about a small niche within a niche that I would have never thought to start a YouTube channel, but based off of the data, this is why using tools like vidIQ and seeing what the search volume is, actually doing the work and seeing what other people are typing in, you could legit start a YouTube channel about compost and get a lot of views, because all those channels I saw by the way, because I'm into gardening, I know some of those channels, they're all about gardening. But literally, if you wanted to dominate in composting, what I know about composting, there's so many different ways to compost that it's not something, if you're just starting today, you might want to start if you're not into a composting expert. But if you're a gardening channel and you want to get known for something like Leon mentioned, and you want to be searchable, Justin and Kristen, composting channel. I mean, like being specific.
And maybe your bigger topic is a gardening channel, but for a year, all you do is compost stuff.
Exactly.
It's like you get known. People have gotten known for just nail art, or Judy early on got known. She had a beauty channel, but she really got known for hair. Mm-hmm. So the bigger topic would be gardening, but then the niche videos that maybe you break out with are that specific thing, just as you mentioned. It could be compost. It could be a specific game in gaming. It could be a specific way of playing games. So yeah, that is a huge tip. And the other thing here for Justin and Christian, as far as how do you get over the hump of being searchable, is you want to commit to posting at least 30 to 55 videos. I have a friend that's got like 15 different YouTube channels, and he's making over $100,000 a month in YouTube ads alone.
Dang.
He's not in any of the videos. They're niche channels, But when he starts a channel from scratch, he doesn't judge the results for 3 to 6 months or longer. And he doesn't judge the results until over 50 uploads. And every single one of those uploads is trying to break out, because what he knows is that when it hits, just as we have in our notes here, is that when the video hits, it triggers the algorithm, and then you can start getting that momentum. So again, it's committing to the process. And it's not just lobbing out crap. It's like actually like trying your best to put out some good videos.
Unless you're composting.
Unless it's a compost channel, then it's uploading as much crap as you can. And so that's a huge tip. I want to go back. We'll hit this question too. Hanai asks, what do you do how did you do your video if you have a small channel in 2020? We just uploaded a video with 5 specific tips and 3 hacks and 2 tools. So that would be our best answer to that, Hanai, is if you got a small channel to grow in 2020, we got a bunch of resources in the description, so check that out. And then Caroline asks, how do you edit and make your logo? So if you want to make a logo or thumbnails, a couple recommendations, canva.com would be one, and we can show some of these. Canva is like a web-based app that you can, also there's a mobile app for it. I've heard the mobile app is not as good. I've used the online app quite a bit. You also have PicMonkey. And so you can look at this. There is a free version for 30 days, but you can also go pro for around $13 a month. And you also pay, look, $10 a month if you go annual. And when you think about investing, remember, this is like investing back in a business. Like, I think one of the unlocks for dominating, getting more views on YouTube in 2020 is to shift your mindset from just dabbling on YouTube and make a decision that you're going to start dominating on YouTube. Because when we're dabbling, we're like, I don't know, like if it grows or not, if I upload or not, if I might invest, I might not. I've been thinking about buying that camera or investing in that software for 6 months. You're not going to win that way. You got to be aggressive, lean in, punch fear in the face, and say, I'm going to dominate this. Like we just talked earlier about my friend who started a coffee shop in Seattle. He's not like, should I get the espresso maker or not? He needs the espresso maker, so he's investing. He's moving forward. And so to the tune of like $100 a year on Canva or whatever, you can now create all your social media graphics, all of your thumbnails, all of your logos. And it's a very free to use or very user-friendly to use. So Canva is a recommendation. PicMonkey. Photoshop, if you want to invest in like the Adobe Creative Cloud. You could also ask a friend. Like maybe you're not very good at design. Do you know anybody that does design? Do you have anybody that could help with graphic design? You could also go to something like Fiverr, and check this out neutrally on the screen. If we go to Fiverr logo designers, what's kind of cool here is you can, this is not it. If you go here, you can actually, it'll walk you through designing your logo. Do you have a specific design in mind? No, actually I don't. I need a design partner. Okay. Tell us about your brand's personality. Well, it's kind of fun and friendly. What design style do you want? Watercolor. Who do you need? Do you need to edit your logo? Like that would mean that you could open it up in Photoshop later? Yeah, I do actually. Do you need it different sizes? Yes, I do. Do you see like it's going to hold your hand and actually hook you up with designers that would design a logo for you. And then you could say, I kind of want this creative one right here, $50, and you'll get a logo for $50. So even if you don't want to invest in it or learn how to design yourself, these are just multiple ways. The question is, how do I edit and make a logo? Do it yourself. You could try some free software. In fact, influencers, tell us in the comments, do you use any free software? I think GIMP is free. You can do different trials. Ask a friend. Hire a designer. Another website, designcrowd.com, if you want to pay a little bit more and have it be more professional. But Caroline and everybody else, where there's a will, there's a way, right? And don't hesitate. One of my mentors, Brett Johnson, actually has a tattoo on his arm, and it says this: scared money don't make money. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we could be afraid, and I get it. Like it's our money is precious, and you work hard for it, and there's things to invest in and bills to pay. But you're not going to grow your YouTube channel in fear. You're going to grow it by taking bold action. And that's why, like a small business, you got to fund it a different way. That's why you're driving Uber, driving Lyft, saving your money, finding other ways to make money, because what you invest in is where you get the returns. And so again, maybe some free software, hire somebody. Those are definitely some different strategies. for getting your logo designed.
Boom. All right. So I want to give a shout out to our member, Michael Groff. In fact, we've got a question from him that I want to answer, and would love to hear your thoughts. Michael asks, when you have a really good video idea for your niche, but it's more competitive than other video ideas, would you create the video or move on to less competitive videos? Well, it depends, Michael. Thanks for being part of our members. If you guys want to join our membership club, just click the join button down below. There's a lot of bonuses there, a lot of extras exclusive. But Michael, this is what I'd say to doing this. Number one, yes, you should make it. If you feel passionate and you're excited and you believe you can make a video better than other people, I think that is the key point there, then you absolutely should. And just because it's competitive, it doesn't mean you can't get in there and be suggested or rank or literally be the number one guy when it comes to that video. So this is why it's important that every single time you upload, whether it's a video like this that you think might be competitive or any other one, that you have a dope thumbnail, that title aligns with what people want, what they're looking for, and what's in the video, and ultimately quality content. You have to really make sure that you are putting out content that's better than other people. Because remember, YouTube is measuring if people are clicking through to your video to determine, is this worth watching? Right? Like, is this a video that we should put in front of viewers when they subscribe or when they search for this type of content? And you want to prove that. And so you got to hustle. But secondly, maybe you do want to work on less competitive videos. You want to work on less competitive videos if you can't beat other people. Now, what I'm telling you is you should still try, right? If you're compelled or excited, but I believe that there are a lot of videos out there that are less competitive, but people are looking for it. And we just talked about this, compost. I just can't believe after all the views that composting videos get, that there's not a composting channel. I really believe if you're a dope gardener and you can't get any traction because maybe gardening is competitive, a lot more gardeners putting out YouTube channels and videos, you could rank on all those searches for compost and dominate, because I don't believe that from a channel standpoint, composting is very competitive, right? Gardening might be competitive, but this is the reason I bring it up. The composting is not. I know that's like beating a dead horse because we keep talking about it. But I found out a new way of composting because of a YouTube video from a gardener. He's not even niched for composting. He talks about, it's called like bukashi composting, which takes used up grains from beer and the organisms in it like help break down the compost even faster. Again, that's just one option, probably hundreds of videos, like Sean mentioned, for a year or two. It's almost like taking a break from trying all these other things, especially when you have the hit video. In fact, this is a strategy a lot of people are utilizing that are crushing it. Once you put out content, this is why you want to be consistent, and that's why quantity isn't a bad thing, because if one of those videos hits, you want to follow it up with a complementary video. So if we talk about composting, maybe an alternate method of composting, maybe a faster way of composting, which is a bukashi method or whatever. So hopefully that helps answer your question. Sean, I know you just got back from a little break. Anything you want to add to that when it comes to competing against other people for video that you think of, or leaning more towards less competitive niches?
Just like you said, Benji, I agree with everything. You want to do both, because you might be able to get a few views off something that has lower traffic. But when you have a video breakout, or YouTube's largest traffic source is suggested videos. So when we think about, you just had Roberto Blake on the channel. I remember when the Microsoft Surface Pro was coming out, he jumped on that trend. Tons of huge tech YouTubers were covering it, but nevertheless, he got a lot of views because he jumped into a trending topic. And so influencers, if you've been getting value out of this stream, hit that like button and drop a couple questions. We're going to do a quick lightning round on your questions. We're on this super stream today. We're celebrating a new year, a new decade, and we're here to help you build your influence, income, and impact with online video. How do you get suggested traffic? Nia, we recommend. We just put out a video right before this one. So if you haven't seen that yet, make sure to check that out. It's called 5 Tips on How to Start and Grow Your YouTube Channel in 2020. How niche is too niched. Watch earlier in the video. We had Liron on.
Yeah.
And so definitely check that out, and we'll that question is in there as well.
By the way, Sean, we have another question from another member of the members area. So can I ask that question for them?
Yes.
So
Yep.
Nylev Iram asks, is it ever okay to take a break? Because I took one due to the holidays. Well, good for you. Everybody should. In fact, one of the reasons we're doing this is because we know a lot of you are taking a break from work, right? Taking a break from school. You just have some like downtime. But I would say there's not a wrong answer here. And I'll tell you why. Number one, I do believe it's good to take a break because you don't want to get burnt out, right? Getting burned out, I don't think really helps. It maybe teaches you a lesson or gives you some perspective, but it's not good for consistency. You want to be more consistent, so going at a pace that's reasonable. But taking a break might be important for you to have a different perspective on your content, on your channel, looking at it from a different angle, maybe taking time to do some research, to look at your data, look at YouTube, look at the community. So taking a break, I think, especially from a creative standpoint, I know that sometimes creatives that like, for example, sometimes there's these actors. I think Jim Carrey is a great example because it looked like he was going crazy. And I don't know if you know this, Sean, but Jim Carrey, dope actor, if you're not familiar, made The Mask. What is that crazy one where he's like animal lover? Pet detective.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Right? So
what's your favorite Jim Carrey movie? Tell us in the comments if you know who that
let
is.
us know. But he took a break and he started painting. And he actually got really good at painting. And then out of nowhere, he's about to come back on the scene. In fact, I think he did. Same thing with that guy. Who's the dude on the shoot 'em up movie where the guy's dog died? What's that? What's that movie where the guy's dog dies?
The Grinch is good.
No, he. What's that movie? And the actor, he's dark hair. What is that? His dog gets shot by the mafia. And he's like, no one shoots my dog, right? And it's the dog his wife get. It's the one that just came out.
Yeah, there's 3 of them now.
Keanu Reeves. What is that movie?
What's his? Come on, somebody will know in the comments.
In
I'm
the
sure.
comments, give it to me. Come
John
on.
Wick. John Wick.
Okay, John Wick, right? Man, he blew up in the late 90s, early 2000s because of The Matrix and some other movies. And then he just went off the grid, right? Probably took a break, I believe. And then he came back and then John Wick 3 times. It's like epic. So taking a break can be good. However, you don't have to. And I'm a great example of this. All right. No, not self-promoting our vlog channel. My wife and I have to give 100% credit to Judy because she's the one that edits. I vlog with her. We run a business together. But when it comes to editing, it's incredible. Editing on the delivery bed. Like she just gave birth, editing next day. And Sean can attest to this because we want to put out a day of edit. Sean did that, but Judy, the next day is editing a vlog about the birth of our children, right? That she gave birth to. And we've been able to sustain this. And I do believe there's something to be said that when you hit a passion of yours just right and you're aligned and you're doing what you love, you don't have to take a break. But I think for many people, they're not aligned enough to where they do get burnt out. And this is why not going too niche is important. So I think that it's an easy question to answer because it all depends on you, where you're at, where your mind's at, where your health is at. If your family life is going down the toilet, you definitely should take a break, right? Because if that's not good, you might not be able to sustain your channel. If you're not paying your bills and you're about to get evicted out of your house, you definitely need to take a break, right? Or at least find a way to monetize. Sean, anything you want to add in terms of taking a break? Because by the way, Sean is technically supposed to be taking a break right now. He's just in Washington, but we're going live here. But the rest of the week, right, you're going to be spending time with your family?
Totally. And, I just took Christmas off and we spent some time in the mountains. The interesting thing, Benji, is this is a whole nother conversation about the fact that Sonia and I, much like you and Judy, have built a business around our lifestyle. And so oftentimes we'll work, quote unquote, on vacation because I review cameras for a living. So I had to go test out the DJI Osmo at Stevens Pass on Friday. So I was snowboarding with my wife, and that was a work trip, you know. And then we were in Leavenworth testing out the Sony RX100 III at the Christmas lighting. And so we've integrated, and I'm not saying that to flex, but we've integrated our lifestyle into our business, and we're earning money. We're also, you know, being smart with taxes, and it's a whole kind of strategy. You know, on the flip side, the reality is this: if you burn out, if your body breaks down, it's about the long game. It's never about the short game. There's seasons of sacrifice, but there also has to be seasons of rest. And so, I think that definitely rest is important.
Yeah.
And and I want to still like love my wife. I want our family to be strong. I want our team to be healthy. I want our relationship to be strong 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. And if you run too fast and you sprint too hard.
By the way, we got your Instagram up on the screen here.
Oh, sweet.
It's showing you at Leavenworth there.
Yeah, so we've been resting, but I also chose to work because I want this whole trip to be a tax deduction, man. So I mean, you know, we have businesses in 2 states, and so I got a business here with you, and you do similar things, but we've been architecting this. Mm-hmm. We're big Tim Ferriss fans, which is about like lifestyle design, business design. We've been architecting this for over a decade.
Yeah.
And now we're living in rhythms of rest, health, working out, eating healthy, eating out. I mean, so that's the thing. Like, we had a business meeting at Canlis, in Seattle.
I'll pull up that picture
where the 4 of us, had
with our wives
had to get together and talk about video influencers and talk about what happened in the year
at the most epic restaurant in Seattle. Right. I love that you brought that up because we architected this over a decade of work. Right. Even before we knew about video influencers, you were the one. Funny enough, I read Tim Ferriss's book back in 2008, but when I met you, before you were a legit full-time YouTuber, you're like, oh, we live a lifestyle around our business. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It's like, yeah, everything's a tax write-off. This is before I was the one coaching you on tax write-offs and whatnot. But I think that's really important. The reason I like sharing this and why I hope you can pull up that picture of me and Sean with our wives on our Instagram is because, we're so grateful for where we're at right now, like what we do. In fact, Sean and I, when we first met, we weren't doing so well financially. In fact, we were both, we're not afraid to share this. Both of us were losing our house. So we were those guys who are like, we definitely need to take a step back. We actually kind of did, right? Sean had to get a full-time job. I had to quit what I was doing and basically work with my wife, for my wife, because that was what was paying the bills for me at the moment. And that was almost a decade ago. So we know what it's like to go through hard times, but we're happy. We're not, Sean actually on his screen right here is showing us where we kind of landed 10 years later. And this is a picture of the 4 of us at the nicest restaurant in Seattle called Canlis. All nice. Actually, you have to wear a jacket. Did you know that?
I know. Yeah, it's required. Yeah, that's like my only one.
Our wives are looking beautiful, and we had such a great time. And of course, I love it because actually 8 years ago, we took a similar picture before going to another nice restaurant before we were doing well. But the reason I like sharing that picture, you guys, is because it wasn't always like that, right? And we had to go through challenges. And the reason 10 years later we wrote a book, YouTube Secrets, we have this channel, Video Influencers, is because we know what's on the other side. And we can sympathize and we can relate to where you're at no matter what the stage. By the way, between the 2 of us, we have 2 different lifetimes, right? Not just losing our house or, losing everything financially, but Sean and his wife going through health issues, My wife and I, we had kids. Again, not as a bad thing. I'm just bringing up the reality of life is it can get busy, right? My wife, Judy, when she first started, she was going to college full-time, University of Washington. She had 2 jobs, and commuting from downtown to where we live was at least 30, if not like 90 minutes in traffic. So we know what it's like, right? Not just from our standpoint, but observing other people. We've interviewed 100 plus. Would you say it's almost 200 now, right?
Yep.
200 people that have crushed it on YouTube to get their perspectives. We've heard about the challenges, the universal truths and principles at work, and we put it into this book. But what we know has all been worth it. Sean and I, we were just recently talking in the car. By the way, I rented a Corvette and we've been having fun. Not something that we would have ever thought to do in 2010 when we met, right? But it was a great moment because we don't take time to enjoy the fruits of our labor. We have just invested it, by the way, into this channel to help you, because we know if we can help you, that you might be one step closer, a little bit faster than you were, than we were back when we first started. Point being, we've been able to celebrate, but it was because of a lot of work. The things that we're sharing, they work because we've worked it. We've taken what other people share with you guys and we've applied it into our own channels. And so I think this is a great segue to kind of finishing off today. We're going to do some rapid fire, maybe on some Q&A from you guys. But what I would tell you is, if you're in a hard place, your back's up against a wall, you've got some life challenges, maybe you're getting out of a relationship, maybe you're moving into one, you're getting married, maybe you're about to have kids, maybe you're graduating, you're scared of the rest of the world, or maybe you're about to make this huge leap. I was talking about going all in on YouTube, right? I don't suggest it for everybody, but I'm sure one of you watching this needs to take that leap, needs to take the risk, be courageous. That's the first principle in our book. Courage. Have the courage to face the fear and do this. Finally do this. Leron mentioned it. Just press record and upload that video. Now do that 52 times in the next 52 weeks. That's what you need to do for the next few years of your life. Because Sean and I didn't just get here from, I don't know, how many videos now on video influencers?
Couple hundred,
right?
300 probably.
300.
You got thousands out. I got thousands out.
Sean, that's what my point. It wasn't just a couple hundred, a few hundred on video influencers. It's combined thousands of videos. Now, don't look at that and feel like that's daunting. In fact, I don't think you need to put out a few thousand videos, right? We made all the mistakes for you. So you don't have to. Take what we teach, what Sean teaches on Think Media, what Nick Nimmons, Roberto Blake, Vanessa Lau, Tim Schmoyer, all these epic YouTube experts are sharing with you and apply it. Like if you go to Sunny Lenarduzzi's channel, what I love about her story, she literally just blew up in the last year or so. And so this works. And it works now, and people are growing faster than ever. No matter what you hear about, it's too late. If you're pumped up by that, give me a like. Let me know. I know in the chat, you guys are super pumped up right now. Sean,
rise and grind.
What are your last thoughts or any Q&A that we want to rapid fire on?
Yeah, last thoughts. A couple things. Influencers, thanks for watching. We want to give a shout out to vidIQ. Thank them for sponsoring this stream. Definitely check out links in the description below. And we also have, I just recorded a brand new web class. And so we could probably show this at learnvideo.live. And I break down a strategy where I'm getting over 50,000 views a day. And really, it's about search, suggested some of the new tools. And so check out the YouTube description below this video for all the resources. We've got some recommended series, our 2020 playlist. You can click or tap the YouTube card with 5 videos that are must watch in 2020. Yep. All of that is below this video. There's a couple rapid fire questions. Somebody asked, what is the price of YouTube Secrets on Amazon? And so right now, $13 for the paperback. You can get the Kindle for $5. And so great deal to grab that on Amazon. You can also grab the audiobook. And if you go to tubesecretsaudio.com and you don't have an Audible account, hey, maybe you're on the holidays right now. Maybe you got some time off. You actually can get a free ebook or the audiobook. You just sign up for a 30-day trial. And so you could tubesecretsaudio.com and you can listen to some of the strategies in the book all holidays long, getting ready for 2020 and dominating on YouTube. Now, a question came in as we do just the lightning round here. Offgrid.se said, what's the best tip for a high click-through rate? And there's 3 tips for you. Number 1, of course, the title. The title should be like a headline. It should be interesting. It should be clickable. Of course, the thumbnail. The thumbnail should be clear, compelling. It should have emotions in it. It should have color in it. and it should be telling a story and also creating an open loop, creating intrigue. But I actually believe that the third tip is the most important, and that is, especially if you've got subscribers. If you're starting from scratch, it's going to be your thumbnail and your title. If you already have subscribers, your topic is, in my opinion, almost the most important thing. And I've learned this from Think Media or even video influencers. We've learned that you're subscribed here on Video Influencers, that people that want tips on cameras are subscribed over on Think Media. If I talk about the Canon M50, which we talk about a lot, it's one of our favorite cameras, it doesn't matter if the thumbnail is not the best or even if the title is not the best, people love the camera. So it's a popular topic for that audience. People want to see tips about the M50, autofocus hacks on the M50. So the choice of topic, you could do the wrong topic and it could be the best thumbnail in the world. That literally Leonardo da Vinci would rise in his grave and be like, this is better than any of my paintings that I've ever seen. Like if your thumbnail was that amazing, but to an audience that wasn't interested. Like imagine if your channel is subscribed to by like Housewives of Orange County, right? You know, like maybe it's like blonde hair, bon qui nails, lashes, and that's who the subscribers are on the channel. And there's like 500,000 OC housewives, and you upload a video about how to raise your Jeep and put on Mickey Thompson Super Swamper Bogger tires on the Jeep and powder coat the, frame. That audience is not clicking through on that video because it's the wrong topic. So I think it's the combination of topic, title, and thumbnail, and dialing in the right topics at the right times and doing trend surfing is definitely something to check out. So anyways, if you want some more strategy and thinking like that, definitely check out that new web class, because that's some of like the most important type of thinking, I believe, to win on YouTube in 2020. And that's all in the description or at learnvideo.live URL.
And one rapid fire question is Hadia Khan asks, why are end cards and links so important to succeed in 2020? Well, one of the key signals to YouTube that you're a good YouTuber is that people watch more YouTube after your videos. So the end cards, info cards, which might be going away, I don't know for sure, but even the links down below, if they go to other videos, especially your videos, but not always, right? Like it could actually go to another video, suggested still, you get the credit for suggesting the other video. That is really important to YouTube because you're proving to the platform and the algorithm that when viewers watch your content, that they stay on. They're not exiting out of youtube.com or the YouTube app. They continue that viewing session. And this is why people with tons of content, quantity, can dominate if they have also quality in that content, because they just got all those different fish hooks in the sea, right? And they're just getting bites. And once you get the bite, you keep them hooked on YouTube. And this is why it's important to have niche content that's topical, that is going to be searchable, and dominate through quantity, because it leads to more quantity of views for YouTube. So this is why you definitely don't want to slack when you are uploading videos. Do the end cards, info links, video links, call to actions to playlists, to even other people's content. I'm not afraid of promoting other people's content if I know, one, it's going to help you guys, but two, it is a logical place for someone else to go. In fact, recently I just made a playlist of all the videos that I utilize for my broadcast, some of the visuals. And I do believe, Sean, you tell me what you think. I do believe that if people are going from our video to the next video and they watch all those, it's good for the first video in our channel.
Totally. Yeah, it increases the session time. And so as we land the plane, Benji, I actually want to show some people or our community here on my screen. A lot of questions came in. So I think one of the biggest things would be to dive into our library, especially if you have some time off, you're putting, your game plan together for 2020. A lot of people have been asking about COPPA. We don't even need to go into it here. You recently covered a bunch of new updated thoughts. So go to, our videos tab, or on mobile, go to the videos tab. We have a really great video about making money smart with Sarah Beth Yoga. She's building a great business. Of course, the Gary Vaynerchuk content, and the brand new video we just uploaded with how to start and grow on YouTube in 2020. So don't miss that one. But there's also been questions about best time to upload. And so this series right here with Matt Gielen is a must-watch series. It's how long should your videos be? How many videos should you upload per week? What is the best time to upload? And so this is a no-miss series. And so that one's in there, the best time to upload. There's so many good ones in our library. Benji, I don't know what one of your favorite videos, these algorithm hacks. This is doing really well. This one was, again, with Matt Gielen. If you haven't seen the How to Make Videos Go Viral, we had Rob Dial come on, who's a viral video expert. He shared some crazy tips about his magic formula for making videos go viral.
I think one of my favorites, definitely, I mean, again, plugging our own video, but our 21 mistakes video, because again, I think half of success is avoiding other people's failures by avoiding the mistakes. So Sean and I, we actually spent some time creating the ultimate 21 mistakes video to help you guys. And by the way, we don't just talk about the mistakes. We talk about how you can adjust differently, how you can strategize in a way to gain you success. And I don't know what that is all about, the Night Rider, but yeah. And so of course we have all kinds of interviews, all kinds of examples, all kinds of little tips for you guys on that video. But I want to land this and just say thank you. Thank you for all the years of you being here with us. And I hope that we're adding value to help you actually grow on YouTube, to gain subscribers, to get more views, to build a lifestyle around this thing that we call YouTube. And if you guys got value, hit that like button. Go check out our playlist. Sean, what's the last thought of the day before we say bye?
The same as you, Benji, just gratitude. Thank you, influencers, for a great year. We're excited for a new decade. It's 2020, and the future is bright. It doesn't mean it's going to be without challenge, but calm seas never made a great sailor. So we're here in your corner. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're connected. Check out some videos in the library and put together a game plan, man. Prior planning prevents poor performance. And so make a plan. Take some time off to make your napkin plan, to really dial in your strategy. And we can't wait. We're going to be bringing you new videos, new live streams, and we're here on Video Influencers to be in your corner to help you crush it. Benji, what's the question of the day?
Question of the day. Tell us what your channel is all about. What topics do you cover on your YouTube channel? And click or tap the screen right here if you want to see our playlist where we talk about how to get your start on YouTube. And make sure you subscribe for more videos just like this. Hit that like button, and we'll talk to you later.